What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this, we have how 500 Poles became black. This should be very fun to get the opportunity to react to. We're about to find out how this is possible. Before we do, though, if you guys have it to enjoy, please don't forget to smash subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to support this channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit that join button to receive your exclusive benefits. Let's get right to it.
These men are black. As you might have noticed, they are also very white. What happened? What's going on? Just why? The short answer is that these guys from Poland decided to fight in one of the ugliest wars of all time for the sake of Haitian independence, and were.
I watched videos about that war, and I shout out to the men who decided to fight, who were fighting for France at first, but then found out what was really going down and was like, we on the wrong side. It's time to flip over, and they fought for the right side.
Rewarded with honorary blackness, but I think that raises more questions than it answers. So let's see if we can find a little more context. For a few hundred years, right around the end of the Middle Ages into the Renaissance era, Poland was a great power on par with England, Spain, France, Germany, you name it. The Polish government was also way ahead of its time in giving power to a parliament instead of the king. But being one of the first constitutional monarchies in Europe, the Polish parliament had a few bugs to work out. Poland was so incredibly committed to the idea that all noblemen are created equal,
all noblemen.
Every single member of parliament was trusted with the nuclear option. Any member of parliament at any time could utter the phrase, "I do not allow it," and whatever law was being debated would immediately fail. And also, the entire parliamentary session was ended. And also,
they didn't figure that, hey, we should probably do majority rules, because for the most part, you'll never get every single person to agree on things. So that way, hey, let's just do a majority rules. Okay.
Every other law that had been passed in that session was canceled? This was a sacred power, and frankly, very stupid. People abused the hell out of this, and the Polish government could literally not do anything unless every single piece of legislation was passed unanimously. All of Poland's neighbors quickly discovered they also could abuse the hell out of this system, because if Poland ever did anything they didn't like, all they had to do was bribe one single MP, and they could bring the entire Polish government to its knees. Poland was so weak that by the late 1700s, the only people passing laws in Poland were the Russians. The Russian ambassador was literally walking through.
I legit didn't know this was how it was. I legit didn't know. Oh my days. That idea of parliament sounds absolutely terrible.
The Polish capital, arresting Polish politicians, and nobody could stop him. The people of Poland finally created a second parliament, which was exactly the same as the first parliament, but without the nuclear option. But by then, it was too late. As soon as the Polish people started trying to pass reforms, Poland was carved up by its neighbors, and the Polish army stood no chance. So now there's no more Poland, but there's still a bunch of Polish soldiers who don't want to fight for the people who just conquered them. They really miss having a representative government and would kill for a chance to liberate Poland. And guess what? France would be very interested in liberating Poland because thanks to the French Revolution, everyone in Europe is out to get them and they desperately need allies. Also thanks to the French Revolution, France is fighting for liberty and equality. At least, mostly. The French Revolution played out a little differently in Haiti. Haiti is a poor country today, but Haiti in the 1700s was a gold mine. Haiti's sugar exports were worth almost as much as all of the exports from the entire United States of America. But that sugar export was sustained by slavery on an enormous scale. Every year, tens of thousands of people were piled into ships and taken to Haiti. You don't want to look down there. It's bad. So bad that about 15% of people down there die before they ever see land again.
Insane,
but France keeps bringing in ships full of Africans instead of using the people already enslaved in Haiti. Why?
course they
Because
do.
thanks to all the yellow fever, 50% of people brought to Haiti as slaves died in their first year. That statistic alone is a very good reason for people to run away, as if the enslavement wasn't enough. So, the French planters decided to make the punishment for disobedience worse than a 50% chance of death by mosquito.
100%
Whippings are just the
death.
beginning. The French used burning, castration, and that's after the king passed a bunch of laws saying what you couldn't do to slaves. French Haiti is practically Caribbean Auschwitz, and the French have been running it for 100 years.
Nah, yeah. That's disgusting. See, that stuff bothers me so much about history, just because I'm like, bro, like, how do people have this type of evil in their hearts to burn someone, to whip someone, to castrate someone? How do you look at another? And I know they didn't see them as people, and that's why they could do it, because they saw them as property. They saw them as less than, inferior. They never saw them as humans. But it baffles me how you could do this. It truly does. Like, how much evil is in people's hearts. Like, literally, it affects me to no end.
So the French are a little afraid of an uprising, considering they're outnumbered by their slaves by, what, 10-1? And then the French Revolution happens, and the French government declares all people are free and equal. This caused quite a bit of controversy back in Haiti. How is that ambiguous? All people are free and equal. No, all people are free and equal. Anyone who isn't free and equal isn't a person. To hell with France! Think how much money we could make on our own! We would finally be free to treat our slaves however we want. I'm thinking Iron Maidens. I'm thinking acid attacks. I reckon we could do that thing where you coat them in honey and lock them in a boat with a bunch of fire ants. The Haitian Revolution began with a slave uprising in 1791. The rebels believed that the French government would be on their side, what with the freedom and equality and all, but actually, the French government gave citizenship to black Haitians who were already free, ruling that black people had rights, except for the ones that didn't. The start of the revolution was a sordid, bloody affair, but as the rebels began to organize, they centered around a man named Toussaint Louverture. Louverture was willing to work with the French, even the plantation owners, to rebuild Haiti into a place where all men are equal. The white plantation owners said, that noise. They're so upset over the free black people being citizens, they ask Britain to pretty please come conquer them so they can continue being asshats. Britain said,
they're so upset that they asked to be conquered. That they asked because they're so upset at the free black man. But they don't want to let their slaves free, and that's I can't stand it. I can't stand slave owners, bro. A disgusting practice.
As did somebody say, asshats, and sends a whole bunch of teenage soldiers to go get yellow fever in the name of autocracy, slavery, and discrimination. After all, the British don't want their captives over in Caribbean Dachau getting any ideas. But there's hope! In order to stop Haiti from falling into British hands, the French governor decides to work with Louverture's rebels. He passes a decree abolishing slavery in Haiti. But it's going to take more than that. Louverture knows the governor could reissue slavery tomorrow if he wanted to, so the governor takes the matter to Paris. And in a historic victory for humanity, the French government declared, "Representatives of the French people, until now our decrees of liberty have been selfish and only for ourselves. But today we proclaim it to the universe, and generations to come will glory in this decree. We are proclaiming universal liberty." Slavery was abolished across the French Empire. How's that for an olive branch? The governor and the rebels work together to drive out the British, and those teenagers die for nothing. Huzzah! Take a minute, hold on to those happy feelings, and kiss them goodbye. We haven't talked about the Poles yet, which means this video is not over. In 1799, Napoleon is in charge of France, and he writes a new constitution for the empire, one that is noticeably less rah-rah about human rights and citizenship. In fact, he's very clear that colonies are going to be getting special rules that are different from the way things work in France. To Louverture, who is now the governor of Haiti, that sounds a lot like slavery's coming back. So in 1801, Louverture says, colonies get their own rules, awesome, here's Haiti's rules. Under no circumstances can slavery come back, and also I'm governor for life. Napoleon is not amused. He sees Louverture's constitution as a call for secession, and the war begins all over again with a whole new cast of characters.
My days, it was made permanent. But that let you know permanent don't mean permanent. Permanent can mean temporary. All it takes is a change of person at the top. And now they redefine the rules. They change. Oh my days.
To reclaim Haiti, Napoleon sends his general and brother-in-law, Charles Leclerc, and gives him 2 secret instructions. When Leclerc arrives, Louverture and his army retreat and burn down the city of Le Cap, and Leclerc is surprisingly cool about it. He writes letters to Louverture saying, no worries, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. Whenever you're ready to surrender, we've got money and a job all lined up for you. No chains attached. Though Louverture put up a hell of a fight, including one battle that supposedly degraded into 6 hours of the French and Haitians beating the life out of each other with their bare hands, at a certain point, for reasons that aren't entirely clear to me, Louverture surrenders himself to Leclerc. You fought with honor, sir. And now I'm going to open my first secret envelope here and you are going to rot in jail. Bon voyage! Louverture was gone, but Leclerc did.
Oh my. I said, if you got a job, all you gotta do is surrender. You got a job, you gonna eat good, you gonna be free. You surrendered. I got a secret envelope. Now you're rotting in jail. Bro, you just can't trust nobody. You can't trust. This is crazy.
Line up some political appointments for some of the other defectors. Without their leadership, more and more Haitians lay down their arms, and the war is nearly over. But before the war is finished, Leclerc reveals his second secret envelope. We're bringing back slavery! Woohoo! Go team! Yeah, so all the other Haitians that had surrendered immediately unsurrender, and the French are shocked that the people who just fought a war to escape slavery are unhappy about being enslaved.
Exactly.
Well, if that's how it's gonna be, France may as well turn this into an all-out race war. The last thing Leclerc did, before dying of yellow fever, was to order every black person...
Before dying of yellow fever, bro, everybody died of yellow fever.
...in the city of Le Cap to be drowned. Mind you, Leclerc was occupying Le Cap, so the only people he succeeded in killing were the ones who were still on his side. The guy who took over after Le Cap, named Rochambeau, was even worse. Rochambeau could make a Klansman blush through his hood. He shows up in Haiti and sees all the people being hanged and shot and thrown into the ocean with sacks tied over their heads, and he decides it's time to take things up a notch. War crimes are such a hassle, am I right? Don't you wish you could use that time to commit more war crimes? Now you can! With my patented fumigational sulfurous baths, you can gas hundreds of POWs at once. On top of inventing the f***ing gas chamber, Rochambeau imported 15,000 attack dogs trained to maul anyone who wasn't white. He made the dogs racist. And now we can talk about the Poles again.
Oh my
Racist
days.
dogs is not what the Polish Legion had signed up for. Napoleon didn't even mention that they were being sent in explicitly to enslave an entire country of people. He told them they were just being sent to put down a prison revolt. They joined the French army believing that Napoleon would one day liberate their homeland from oppressors, and now here they were in Haiti doing the oppressing. So a bunch of them just left. I mean, they couldn't get back to Europe, but about 500 or so walked out and fought for the Haitians instead, knowing they might never see their homeland again.
Said, all right, I'm gonna fight for the Haitian. Shout out to the Poles. Shout out to the Poles that said, bro, they didn't tell us what was really going on here. We thought we was fighting y'all for completely different reasons. We ain't know we was fighting for y'all to be enslaved. It's time to switch.
It was a very brave and selfless act. Unfortunately, their new Haitian commander was also very excited about this whole race war thing. After the French tried to spring slavery on Haiti again, the man who came to lead the Haitian Revolution was named Dessalines. He'd fought alongside Toussaint Louverture, but he had a very different way of doing things. Dessalines believed in an eye for an eye, and brother, there were a whole lot of eyes to pay for.
So we got, basically, in this Haitian Revolution, comparatively, we got the Martin Luther King Jr. method, and we got the Malcolm X method. And Dessalines saying like Brother Malcolm.
He and Rochambeau spend the rest of the war playing tit-for-tat war crimes. Rochambeau hanged 500 black people. Dessalines found 500 white people and stuck their heads on spikes. Rochambeau had his gas chambers, Dessalines had saws and fire. The war itself may have been the least brutal part of the war. One observer noted how all the soldiers were really excited for a big battle because it meant they had a chance to get shot and die in a few seconds instead of living long enough to get captured or contract yellow fever. Gradually, the war shifted in favor of Dessalines. Rochambeau abandoned the capital city, but about 100 white people had stayed behind to pledge their allegiance to Dessalines and a new Haiti. When Dessalines arrived, they welcomed him as a hero. With a tear in his eye, Dessalines told them, "This kindness, this love, this equality.
He gonna kill her.
I did not think it still existed in this world. This had better be the last of it." And he hanged them all.
I did not think it still existed in this world. This had better be the last of it. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
War was over. Dessalines' mission wasn't finished. Kill all the whites. We shall have their skin for parchment, their blood for ink, and a bayonet for a pen. What about those whites? But those whites are black. The only exception to Dessalines' policy of racial extermination was the Poles in his army, who were probably feeling really uncomfortable about this whole situation, but they were in way too deep to say anything. So Dessalines might have turned Haiti into a different kind of dystopia, but at least slavery was abolished once and for all. Until Dessalines forced everybody to work in the plantations again. And then Dessalines got assassinated, Haiti split in half, the northern half became a literal monarchy again, and then France came back demanding reparations for the war they lost, and Haiti spent the next 200 years in disorder and poverty. The moral of the story is, the Poles and the Haitians just can't catch a break.
So they gave them compensation for that? They gave France compensation for that war that they started and lost? Nah, that's crazy work, bro. That was history. That was a history that I had not known before, and I'm very appreciative of learning that. That was absolutely wild. Okay, I need to know you guys' thoughts on this. I have to know your guys' thoughts. That was insanity. That's all we have. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and check out the next one. See y'all next time.